Yeah.
Speaking of an adventure, I guess we can go into some Doctor Who, which was the season finale of Doctor Who, unless you count the Christmas special, but this kind of counts as the final of the season. And again, this was one of the main things I think that brought this back. I'm like, yeah, what I really want to talk about this final episode. We talked about the whole season, which went by really fast. It did not feel like we went through an entire season of Doctor Who in just these last couple weeks, but no, we're here at the end, episode 8. What do you think of the finale? Because I feel like this. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely a very interesting one.
I loved it. Can I also just say that the feeling we're both feeling happens every season. Every time it gets to the end, it's like, oh man, that was over quick, man.
Yeah.
Oh damn. So it's great. That's how you know it was really good, because you're just dying for more of it.
Yeah. I had this weird moment where I'm like, oh man, there's no more Doctor Who, and I'm like, wait, yes there is. There's like thousands more of Doctor Who. I can just watch more.
Yeah,
just
genuinely,
go back.
I can get content.
You idiot.
I thought it was really good. As you saw, like, Doctor Who can be bottle episodes. It can be running through corridors by a papier-mâché thing with rubber gloves on it. It can be wacky, but then it can also be like save its pennies away by doing those things, and then be really grand and have like a whole bunch of effects. And the fact that they managed to do the whole world in this one, right? So like, because they've done it before, but like say with like Martha and stuff like that, like with those episodes, like she was traveling the world and stuff, but it still felt like a little bit small, like because you could tell like I'm watching a BBC show, but because of the advancements of effects and everything else, it felt bigger. This week felt bigger, for it. So I'm really happy. I really loved it. The mystery was insane. It was insane. Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, let's honestly start there, because I think that was kind of my biggest, because I wasn't quite sure how I felt about like the reveal of the episode, because I feel like I have split feelings of it a little bit. Were you satisfied with how it kind of wrapped it all up, or did you crave a little bit more?
Both.
Okay.
Right? Both. Because I sat there and I was like, that is amazing. That is hilarious. That is going to piss so many people off. That's going to be, good job, guys. Because it is genuinely layered, like this season, there is layers to it. And there are like messages in it, and then the fact that the message at the end was like literally it was only so important because you made it so important. It was amazing. I was like, oh my god.
It's interesting, because I got this mixed feeling, because like I do get there, and I do feel disappointed, because I was like, oh, we were like, there are all these theories. Is she like the granddaughter of the Doctor? Is she related to Santa Claus? Like, there's so many of these theories flowing around, and we spent the whole season doing that, and I do feel disappointed, like, oh man, I wanted something more out of that. But I think also that's the point. Like, I think the point is you're supposed to be disappointed, because they're disappointed. They're like, oh, it's not Santa Claus, it's not the Doctor, I'm not the son of this great lord, all these things that we were thinking and theorizing. And like, I did feel disappointed, but like, I almost feel like that they knew that. Like, they wrote it in a way where they knew people would be back each week being like, who is she? Why is she have this thing or whatever? And it kind of led into a more like meta narrative into the episode. And, I was even thinking about this like early on inside the day. I was like, okay, who could the mother have been that would have felt satisfying? Like, could there have been a like question. Reveal that was made me be like, yes? Like, I feel like no new character would have done that for me. Like, I feel like it would have had to have been someone within the Doctor Who world already. Like, I feel like you have to be like, be the Doctor or whatever. Like, I feel like it had to be something huge. I think it would have been so hard for them to live up to the hype that they had built for themselves.
That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Because I was gonna say, as not to like pick apart the show, right? But it would be like it is fantastical that he like constantly keeps getting into all of these scrapes and meeting all of these like important people that are like fabrically tied to the universe and this and this and this, right? So the fact that it would have been like somebody random in like 2004, you know, like a year before he came back in 2005 as Eccleston, you know, it would have had so much. It would have had to have so much time filling in who she is, you know, and how it fit into the story. I think the payoff is better because then it got into the Doctor and like the stance he was taking, right?
Yeah.
Because when it was who was it? It wasn't him and Kate Lethbridge Stewart. It was him and Melanie, maybe like. And there's somebody else. There was a few people. Like he's been like everywhere I go, I bring desolation, I bring devastation. You know, like he just thinks he's the harbinger of death, basically. You know, and then that's not the case because he meets the god of death. You know, whom he thought he triumphed over many moons ago. Obviously not. You know, so then he's like, okay, well then I am life. You know, you're going to make me step up and be that guy. That's who I'm going to be, you know? And it was such a triumph over the way he has felt and for so long, you know? I think it was a great moment.
I think that's a really heartbreaking moment when he had to like sacrifice the thing that he stands for, is that all life is valid, all life is important. And like, there's that moment where like, I defeated the monster and now I have to become one. It's like, oh my God, like what are you going to do? And I think like throughout this season, especially, I realized, oh, I love this character for that exact thing. He reminds me of like a Superman type character that like, he just wants happiness. He wants people to, because it feels like he's never like looking to save the day. He's always just looking to like chill out somewhere. Like he's always, and it just kind of always finds him. So I love this idea that like, I now have to do this. And anyone else in a scenario, I think would have no problem with being like, yeah, that's a literal death. Like, yeah, like kick him off the elevator shaft or whatever. Like, I really would not have any problem with being like, yeah, screw you, buddy. Yeah, see ya. Like, I would have no issue. He literally murdered the entire universe. Like, everyone died. I would sleep like a baby kicking this man off a bridge, but he won't. This is going to cause him demons. And I think that's a special moment for him to be like, I have to do this. I have to put myself in this situation, which I think is cool.
Now that I think about it, though, I don't understand how killing him in the vortex or just dropping him in the vortex, kills him if his claws were breaking the side of it. Okay, which that feels like it needs addressing. And like how that undoes all of the death he done.
Oh, I didn't get that either. It's like pulling him this way will bring everyone back, and I was like, does it? Is that how that works? Because it's not like they went through time, right? It's not like they reversed the effects. They were just like, hey, we're going to bring him through the other direction, touching everyone in its path. And I was like,
well, they were going through time. That's what the vortex was, right?
Okay, I guess.
But what they were explaining is that he was killing the universe or each planet at each fixed point that they landed at. So all throughout time, he was killing the universe, right? Sure. So, like he said he took him to his death, which would have been down the line, right? Not that way, not backwards, right? So if he was going backwards, he wouldn't have taken him to his death, you know, because that's paradoxical. So, like, what's happening here? You know? And then, like, just because the guy's dead, it doesn't mean that his life didn't exist in the first place, even if he does die in the time vortex. So I don't know.
And he seems like I wonder if you don't kill him there. Like he seems like a villain that you might want to bring back in the future. He seems like, and I'd actually be very like, this is an episode I would love. I know you've seen a lot of Classic Who. Like, this seems like a big episode for Classic Who fans. Like, there are so many Easter eggs. There's so many things. Like, there's literally a part where they're showing footage of Tom Baker's run of Doctor Who, and I was like, oh, that's fun. Like that, and it was kind of this frustrating thing within the episode, because it feels like they are literally celebrating and catering to the Classic Who fans, the exact fans that are like, oh! You know what I mean? Like, it feels like this interesting paradox with it. Like, they are celebrating your run of the show. Like, they're doing that for you, and you have been giving them nothing all season. Like, that's frustrating a little bit. Not on the writers or anything, because that's amazing. But, like, for the fans, that's frustrating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. More to your point, that, like, the TARDIS that they were in, my mother actually pointed this out, it's like an amalgamation of all the TARDISes and the Doctors.
Yes, yeah.
And their personalities all in one. So, again, chock full of stuff for all reference.
Yeah,
all the fans, you know? And then the fact that you're sat there with, like, bugs up your butt, like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, like, that was the one thing where I'm like, yeah, I don't understand a lot of those references. I don't know whose whistle that is, but I bet a lot of fans are going to love that whistle. You know what I mean? Like, which is amazing. It's amazing. Okay, I do. My only kind of my issue with not an issue. My only question with the Ruby thing, like, she's actually nobody. I didn't understand the snow. Why does she have snow powers? Why does snow just appear when she's there? That was the part where I'm like, I get,
and the singing and the caroling. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I that confused me still. Like, it was like, okay, you're no one, and it's like in the power of, like, believing someone's important. Okay, I can buy that. I can 100% buy that. But with the snow? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, right? And there's no way that Christmas is that powerful. Like, Christmas just ain't that powerful. No way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Christmas can save the day and whatnot. Come on.
Yeah.
No. Maybe it has something to do with the person, like, in the post credit, like in the afterwards, that was teased up for the Christmas episode.
Yeah. Maybe next season we can kind of circle back around and it'd be like, oh, this is whatever. But I have a feeling. Okay. Let's actually talk about that, because who do we think the neighbor is? Who do we think Miss whatever her face is? Because I don't know.
They called her the neighbor, like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, her name's Miss something. I'm gonna look up her name really quickly. She looked
like a snowy angel, didn't she?
Yeah. I was even wondering if maybe, like, she's the granddaughter somehow. Like, if, like, because they were very heavily hitting on, like, we're going to maybe finish that storyline somewhat soon. Maybe not next season, the following seasons. But maybe not. Maybe they'll wait another 20 years. I have no idea. I feel like that wouldn't be the first time they wait. But yeah, no. I mean, apparently the Doctor gets in some kind of peril, which
is always the case. But then, like, whether she's talking about the Doctor as a whole character or just that incarnation.
Yeah, Miss Flood. Yeah. Mrs. Flood, I think is her name.
Okay. Interesting.
Huh.
Because as well, the Doctor it won't be somebody that just retires, I don't think.
No.
I don't think that's ever going to be his style. So
yeah, I mean, I wonder. I actually do wonder, like, if the next one is a Christmas episode, maybe we do get answers. Like, maybe we spend that Christmas episode maybe uncovering what's been up with the Christmas stuff. She had, like, a very Christmassy look at the end there. She was like a little, like, ice princess or whatever. So maybe.
Do you think we're going to get a new companion, or we're going to revisit Rose to get the answers?
Rose?
Ruby.
Ruby. Okay, I was like Rose. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. I don't know, because typically they spend the Christmas episodes getting like a new companion, right? That's typical. That's often when they do it.
Or a one-off. Yeah, like Kylie Minogue.
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I would assume that's probably where we do it. That seems like a nice place to do that. I mean, what was your thoughts on how we like exited Ruby? Because I mean, that was quite sad.
Honestly, yeah, very sad, very sad. But very common for the Doctor. Honestly,
Sure.
Very common. Because he does it all the time. Usually, it ends in tragedy or in a forced goodbye.
Yeah.
But this was like a really nice one, and it wasn't like begrudging in any way. They just wanted more time with each other, but she knows that's not who the Doctor is. He doesn't do the day-to-day, the small stuff, unless absolutely forced to do so, like with Matt Smith. Yeah. And then she's got like her whole life, her whole story starting, as you said. So
yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful ending. Like, I absolutely I could have watched a couple seasons with Ruby. 100% could have. I think out of the companions I've seen, she's very high up. I've only seen like 3 at this point, but like out of the ones I've seen, I've really enjoyed Ruby a lot. And I think she has, again, we've talked about this on a lot of these. She has such a great like friendship with the Doctor that is so refreshing to see. But also you end the season and you're like, this does feel like the right moment for her to leave. Like, this feels like the perfect ending of her story. It doesn't feel like, because when it was announced, like way before the season even started, like a year ago, when they were like, all right, yeah, we're the season 2 will be a new companion list. I think it's 2 companions next time. And I was like, oh, I wonder what happened. I was like, oh, did she get canceled, or did she want to leave? Like, was there a controversy? And this was like, oh no, this was just her story. It was a season 1 story, and I think it's a really good story to have been told. Like, it does also, as much as I would have loved another season with her, it does feel like a very satisfying end, and also a very open end. Like, I feel like if they want to bring her back in the future, that feels like a door that is open for them. Maybe in a couple years after she's spent time with her family, maybe she can come back for a season or a special or a Christmas thing or whatever it may be. So I think in terms of that, it worked out.
Did you notice?
Sorry.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
just that, like, when the second he realized that like they're parting ways, how cold his body language was.
Yeah.
Just instantly, it was like, yeah, okay, we've changed now. So, I would half expect him to ask for the key back,
No, it's, oh my gosh, it's a heartbreaking moment. I mean, the Doctor's having a rough season. Like, he's cried every episode, which I actually love. Like, I like, Ncuti has the acting chops, and I love. It doesn't sound bad, but I love seeing him cry because he's so good at scenes like that. And it's a very bittersweet moment because he's like, yeah, I know. Like, there's that moment where they both know they can't stay, and he wants to convince her to stay, and she wants to convince herself to stay, but they both know, like, this is what's happening. Like, even when she's like, oh no, wait, I can just give me a day and I'll and it's just like, no, girl, you have to go. You found your mother, they found your father, you're with your family again. This is where you're meant to be.
The fact that he was even going to talk her out of even talking to her mother because he didn't want her to go. Yeah. He was going to say, no, she looks fine. I'd leave it alone. I'd probably move on. She's like, no.
And you have to imagine he's probably so sad of losing people. He just probably just like, just one. Can one stick around for like 10 years? Can one? Can one just stay?
Nice.
But that moment, I think, between her, like Ruby and her mom, was such a sweet moment. Like, that's such a fun way to do it, being like, so my name's Ruby, so say my name when you get my order.
Yeah.
That's such a fun one. And you can tell her mom knew. Like, there was just there was this intuition in the air when she came in.
Mm.
Like, something about this girl. Like, there must have been a vibe, like a mother intuition in that building. That was such a, it's so sweet. And the family, I really appreciate the Ruby's adopted brother. Like, I forget her name, but like, I feel like it's such a trope being like, you weren't there all these years, you can't just come back, and you're like, that's such a trope in these movies and TV show. And there was none of that. It was just like, yeah, she's here now, and she's now part of our family, and we got tons of photos here. And it was such like a beautiful, like, accepting moment that I thought.
Yeah, a wonderfully warm welcome.
It was so sweet. So great.
Such a strong show of character.
Yeah.
I agree.
What was your opinion on like the main villain of this? Oh my gosh. Wait, I haven't pulled up. Sutek?
Suket. Yeah, yes. I kept getting it backwards.
Which again is like a classic villain.
Really cool. Yeah. Oh, that was me then.
Oh.
Yeah, no, really cool. I don't remember it from the Tom Baker one very well.
Okay.
So it was really just nice to see him, and then really hilarious that they accused him of cultural appropriation. Yeah, just really good. I felt bad for him in the end. I'm not gonna lie. The way he went out, I felt bad.
Mm.
Like, he killed all of the people in reality, and I still felt bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where I feel like I didn't need to sing classic to understand what was going on. Like, I think they did a good job at kind of introducing, and I think they did that relatively throughout the season. Like, I think they did it in a way where you're okay. Like, you're going to get more out of it if you've seen it. And it was really cool seeing classic fans, the good ones, be like, oh my gosh, he's the villain that I love from the past, and he's back. And it makes me excited for one day maybe I can go back to some of those classic and be like, oh. And it seems like Tom Baker is one of the runs that people really love. Like, it seems like Tom Baker is a fan favorite among classic fans. So it's cool that, and also the woman was from her run, right? Was from the Tom Baker run?
Absolutely.
What's her name? Mel? Mel's from like the Tom Baker run, right?
If not Colin Baker.
Okay. Cool.
Or Colin Baker, yeah.
I mean, do you think there's any chance of like her sticking around? Like maybe her getting a little bit more? That'd be kind of fun.
Only because the way they're expanding the Hooniverse, I really think it's going to be like a whole unit thing. You know? Like,
yeah.
That system that they had set up with Kate Lethbridge Stewart and the robot and the super brain baby
kid,
you know,
yeah,
which was also a nice little callback to Space Babies, you know, like the whole series did very well in my opinion. I want more of it. I want really more of it. Also, I'm now understanding why the sonic screwdriver looks like a goddamn TiVo remote, and that is because not only like does it function as a Swiss Army knife, it is now physically a Swiss Army knife in the fact that there are like just ports for blood samples and other such things. So
yeah,
awesome,
amazing. As we kind of exit this kind of our Doctor Who segment here, what was your favorite episode from this batch of episodes? Because I think there's been a really good batch of episodes. I think
that is tough. That is tough. I want to say the mine one was really good. I love that one. No, yes.
Boom, the mine one. I heard mime. Yeah. I was like mime. I was like, okay, mine. That makes more sense. Boom was really good though. Boom was great.
Maestro, yeah.
Maestro was good.
Maestro, absolutely. Boom. And 73 yards. That kept me guessing.
Yeah.
Right? I kept sitting there thinking,
so
that has to be her, but how?
And I feel like they almost answered the question. Like they dabbled into it in this episode. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get answers. And I was like, but we really didn't. I didn't get the answers I wanted to. But maybe someday. I don't know. I think Maestro was really good. I thought Maestro was such a good episode. I thought Boom was a really good episode. I think Dot and Bubble might be my favorite episode just because of his performance. Like that's such a angering episode. I hate to say it's my favorite episode, but just his performance at the end is probably my favorite performance of the season. It was just like
because like
he's so good.
Because like the whole time, like now, like since you see the end, anytime I think about it, I'm just like mentally like jabbing her in the face, you know. So so it's like I was like, I don't want to give her the credit, but it's the actress. It's not the actress. Do you know what I mean? Obviously,
she's great. Yeah,
like she just does such a good job that I'm just like, God damn it, yeah. Oh, you suck. But again, she just does such a good job because obviously that's not who the person is. They are not magic people in a TV screen, you know. So
we can happily hate them. And I guess maybe potentially we'll be back in December when that special comes out. And in the meantime, I think I want to try and catch up on some Doctor Who, which I still got Tenet to watch. I got a season of Tenet left. I've been like these last couple weeks has been like I really am craving to get back into Doctor Who. So I might just do 2 episodes a week until December or whatever.
You are gonna once you finish Tenet, like keep going because you're gonna love Smith. He's great.
I'm excited for Smith as well. Like those are the two. Tenet and Smith are the ones I hear the most about. I'm excited for them.
Honestly, like for me, like Tom Baker, obviously he's like in his own separate category.
Sure.
But like David Tennant and Matt Smith, right? Like David Tennant's just champion, always will be. And then like Matt Smith, but then this Doctor, like he's on par with Matt Smith for me. Like he's already done really, really well. And his speech was good, but it's not the speech that I'm looking for, right? Because there's a bit. There's just a point where the Doctor just loses all caring and just starts threatening people, right? And it's like he just starts throwing out all this wild stuff about how powerful he is and how old he is, how ancient he is, and then how much he just doesn't give a crap because all that matters is people and how much people need saving. And he is the powerful one and he is the one that will do it and no one's standing in his way and this and this. It just gives you chills every goddamn time. So, like, that's like, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for his version of that.
I'm excited. Yeah, but I thought he did ever really like. I loved his scream in this episode. I know we're getting back into it, but like he realized the whole world is gone. He's just screaming his frustration out. Like I thought he did great there. Amazing.
Yeah, imagine that you've been duped for 40 odd years.
That's wild.
Right, and let us not forget, his time machine is telepathic, right? It's slightly telepathic. It's got like a whole brain of its own.
Yeah.
You know? And still nothing. Nothing.
He was like, they were just like, this would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? If I just don't say nothing.